The sun was melting into the horizon, painting the Arizona desert in strokes of gold and crimson. Dust swirled around the boots of a lone cowboy named Luke Carson as he rode his weary horse through the canyon trails. He wasn't searching for trouble, but out here, trouble had a way of finding him. He'd been chasing wild mustangs for the past 3 days, trying to earn enough to keep his ranch alive, when he spotted something strange. Smoke rising from a ravine where no camp should have been. His gut told him to keep riding, but his heart, the same foolish heart that always got him into trouble, told him to take a look. He climbed down the slope quietly, pushing aside dry brush, and what he saw froze him in place. A young Apache girl, no older than 16, lay half-conscious beside a burned-out fire. Her skin blistered from the sun, her clothes torn, and one ankle bound in a crude iron shackle. She flinched as he approached, gripping a small knife in trembling hands. "Easy now," Luke said softly, raising his hands. "Ain't here to hurt you." The girl's eyes, sharp as obsidian, watched his every move. She didn't trust him, and why would she? The world had given her every reason not to. "Name's Luke Carson," he continued. "You look like you could use some help." She didn't answer, but when she tried to stand and fell, he caught her gently. Her knife clattered to the ground. He saw the marks of captivity on her wrists, bruises and cuts that told a story too cruel to speak aloud. Luke carried her back to his camp, cleaned her wounds, and offered her water and jerky. She ate like someone who hadn't had a meal in days. When she finally spoke, her voice was little more than a whisper. "They took my people, soldiers. They burned our camp. I ran." Her name was Nita, which meant bear in her language, and she had been hiding from the men who slaughtered her family. Luke clenched his jaw. He'd seen enough death to know what that kind of pain felt like. He promised her one thing. "Ain't no one gonna hurt you again." For days, they hid together in the desert, moving at dawn and resting at dusk. Luke taught her how to shoot, how to ride, and how to listen for danger in the wind. Slowly, the fear in her eyes faded, replaced by a quiet strength. She told him stories of her tribe, of the spirits of the land and the songs of her ancestors, and Luke listened like a man hearing the truth for the first time. But peace never lasted long in those wild lands. One evening, just as the stars began to bloom in the sky, they heard the distant thunder of hooves. A patrol of soldiers, the same men who had destroyed her village, were riding hard down the canyon. Luke's first instinct was to run, but Nita stood tall, her jaw set. "We fight," she said, gripping the rifle he had taught her to use. Pride surged in Luke's chest. They took cover among the rocks. When the soldiers arrived, Luke opened fire first, taking down the lead rider. Bullets tore through the silence, echoing off the cliffs. Nita's shots were true. She fought like her ancestors, fierce and unyielding. When the smoke cleared, the last of the soldiers lay scattered across the desert floor. Luke was bleeding from a cut on his arm, but he laughed through the pain. "You did good, girl," he said. "Real good." She smiled for the first time, a soft, grateful smile that reminded him why he'd stopped that day in the canyon. As dawn broke, they buried the bodies and packed their horses. "Where will you go?" Luke asked. Nita looked toward the mountains. "Home," she said simply. "To rebuild what they tried to destroy." Luke nodded. "Then I'll ride with you a while. Reckon I owe you that much." Together, they rode into the rising sun, a cowboy and a forgotten Apache girl, carrying the hope of 2 worlds stitched together by kindness and courage. And as the horizon swallowed them whole, Luke's voice echoed softly. "If you believe in standing up for what's right, in never walking away when someone needs help, then ride with us." Hit that subscribe button, partner, and keep the fire burning for more stories like this one.